Hello there, and welcome to Deep Space Sleep Channel. I'm glad you're here tonight. Take a slow, gentle breath and let the noise of the day dissolve. Feel the quiet space between waking and dreaming begin to open inside you. Every night, your mind transforms into a patient storyteller, weaving invisible tales out of memory, emotion, and light. Thoughts soften into rhythm, and the body begins to surrender to the calm order of rest. This is where science meets serenity, the moment when the mind begins to sing its most peaceful song. Inside your head, billions of neurons move together in harmony, sending electrical whispers that shape the landscape of your dreams. Hormones like melatonin and serotonin begin their slow dance, telling your body it is safe to drift. Your heartbeat slows, your breath deepens, and your temperature gently falls, signaling to your cells that it is time to renew. The circadian clock, ancient and wise, keeps time not in hours, but in feeling. It guides every wave of sleep like a conductor leading an orchestra, each stage, each pulse, perfectly synchronized. Sleep is not simply rest, it is balance, recovery, and creation. Tonight, we drift into the calm science of sleep, the quiet language your mind speaks while you rest. Let the stillness of night become your teacher, and the rhythm of your breath, your guide. Tell me, if you've ever wondered where your dreams come from, what do you remember most when you wake? For now, let's begin. As night begins to fall, the body prepares to rest with remarkable coordination. Muscles loosen, heart rate slows, and breathing deepens as the brain signals that wakefulness is ending. Temperature drops slightly, helping conserve energy and trigger a state of calm. Hormones like melatonin begin to rise, guiding every cell towards stillness. Even digestion slows, giving the body time to repair rather than consume. This transition is not abrupt but gentle, a gradual unfolding that mirrors dusk itself. Every system listens to the rhythm of night, syncing together like an orchestra tuning before a performance. The body does not simply shut down, it transforms into its most restorative state. This preparation reminds us that rest is not the absence of life, but one of its purest forms of balance and renewal. Before dreams begin, the heartbeat slows, marking the passage from awareness to rest. Pulse softens, signaling the nervous system to shift from alertness into recovery. This gentle deceleration lowers blood pressure, calms muscle tension, and allows oxygen to flow more efficiently throughout the body. The slowing heart becomes the metronome of sleep, setting a pace for peace. With every beat, the body tells the mind it is safe to let go. This moment is not sleep yet, but the edge of surrender, where consciousness begins to dim and thought loses its grip. The steady rhythm becomes a lullaby in itself, a quiet reminder that the simplest act of life, the beating heart, is also the doorway to calm. Melatonin is the body's chemical lullaby, a hormone released by the pineal gland as darkness falls. It does not force sleep, but invites it, whispering to the brain that night has come. Melatonin levels rise when light fades, telling every system to rest and recover. It balances the circadian rhythm, lowers body temperature, and quiets alertness. Unlike stimulants or sedatives, melatonin works through rhythm, not control. It reminds the body of its ancient pattern that sleep follows light's retreat. This gentle signal flows through the bloodstream, soothing cells into cooperation. The mind, feeling its effect, begins to slow. Thoughts drift, muscles release, and awareness softens. Melatonin teaches that sleep is not something to chase, It is something to allow, a biological trust in the rhythm of night and renewal. As you begin to drift toward rest, brain waves shift from fast, focused beta patterns to slower, calmer alpha rhythms. This change marks the transition from active thought to quiet reflection, from doing to simply being. The alpha state is a bridge you are still aware, but beginning to float. Creativity, imagination, and calm expand here. Replacing logic and urgency, the brain becomes more fluid, allowing memories to reorganize and emotions to settle. Muscles loosen, and the edges of reality blur. This is the space of daydreams and gentle release. The prelude to true sleep. Scientists describe it as relaxation taking physical form, where the nervous system hums at half volume. In alpha, the mind learns to let go, to surrender to the deeper waves waiting just below awareness. The weight of waking thought slowly dissolves as the mind begins to release control. The endless stream of decisions, plans, and worries fades, replaced by the rhythm of breath and heartbeat. This shift is not forced. It happens naturally, as if the mind finally remembers how to be still. Musculus soft, eyelids grow heavy, and awareness becomes fluid, drifting between consciousness and dream. This is the threshold, the space where logic loosens and imagination awakens. The prefrontal cortex, home of reasoning, begins to rest, allowing older, quieter parts of the brain to take over. In this letting go, the mind begins to heal. Thought dissolves into calm, not because it ends, but because it no longer needs to lead. What remains is silence, safety, and the first whisper of dreams. There comes a moment when consciousness loosens its hold, when the edges of awareness blur and thought drifts into something softer. This is the border between waking and sleep, where logic fades, but perception lingers. The brain begins to disconnect sensory input from response, allowing imagination to rise like mist over calm water. You are still aware, but awareness no longer commands. The body feels lighter, and the mind starts to wander freely through fragments of sound, memory, and color. Scientists call this the hypnagogic state, a fragile bridge where waking thought dissolves into dream logic. It is here that inspiration often appears, where creativity mingles with peace. As consciousness loosens, control fades, replaced by trust, the mind finally allowing itself to rest within the silence it has created. Yawning is one of the body's simplest and most mysterious forms of connection. When one person yawns, others often follow, their brains syncing in empathy and shared rhythm. Scientists believe this reflex is tied to mirror neurons, the same cells that help us understand and reflect the emotions of others. Yawning helps regulate temperature in the brain, cooling it as we prepare to sleep or focus. It is also a signal of transition, marking the moment between alertness and calm. When yawns spread through a group, it is the body's way of harmonizing energy, creating a sense of unity. In this act, humans mirror the rhythms of nature itself, where one motion ripples through many. The synchronized yawn is a whisper of shared biology, an unspoken reminder that rest connects us all. As sleep approaches, the body cools itself by lowering its core temperature by a few degrees. This small change signals the brain that it is time to rest. Blood vessels in the hands, feet, and face widen, releasing stored heat and creating a sensation of calm. This temperature drop helps the body conserve energy while supporting deep, restorative sleep. It is the reason a cool room often feels comforting at night, and why blankets bring security rather than warmth alone. The body's rhythm, guided by the circadian clock, uses this cooling to separate day from night. In this balance of warmth and release, the body transitions into its most natural state of rest. Temperature, not just darkness, becomes the language that tells the mind to slow, to breathe, to drift. Before sleep, the brain and body engage in a quiet dialogue, a seamless exchange of signals preparing for rest. The brain slows heart rate, reduces alertness, and adjusts hormone levels, while the body responds with stillness and relaxation. Muscles loosen as tension melts away, and breathing becomes rhythmic, sending feedback to the brain that peace is achieved. This dialogue is constant, but becomes most tender at night. When both systems align toward renewal, it is communication without words, a biological conversation refined over millions of years. The body listens to the mind's command to rest, and the mind trusts the body to heal. Together, they create balance, an agreement that ensures survival and serenity. In this harmony, sleep is not escape, but connection between thought and existence. Light is the body's most powerful clock, the silent guide that tells us when to dream. When daylight fades, the eyes signal the brain to release melatonin, easing us toward rest. Even without seeing the sun, our internal rhythm responds to its rise and fall. Artificial light, screens, and brightness can confuse this signal, delaying sleep and disrupting dreams. In contrast, darkness is not emptiness but invitation, the cue that it is safe to drift inward. Ancient humans slept with the stars as their only light, their bodies perfectly in tune with the planet's cycle. Today, we carry that same rhythm within us. Light tells us not only when to wake, but when to surrender. In obeying that pattern, we return to nature's oldest wisdom that night is not an end but a beginning. The world fades, and the mind begins its inward journey. Sleep unfolds in 5 stages, each carrying the body deeper into rest and renewal. The journey begins with light drowsiness, when brainwaves slow and muscles relax. As we move further, heart rate drops and breathing steadies. In deeper stages, the brain produces delta waves, marking the most restorative part of sleep. Finally comes REM, the phase where the mind begins to dream. These stages repeat throughout the night in cycles, forming a rhythm that restores memory, emotion, and energy. Each one serves a purpose. One repairs, reorganizes, one dreams. Together, they create harmony between body and mind, balancing awareness and oblivion. Sleep is not uniform but layered, an elegant sequence of rest. Through these 5 stages, the body heals, the mind reorganizes, and the soul quietly remembers how to be whole again. NREM sleep is the body's time for silent repair. During this phase, which includes the deepest stages of rest, cells regenerate, tissues rebuild, and the immune system strengthens. Heart rate slows, breathing deepens, and the brain releases growth hormones that help restore physical strength. It is a period of profound stillness when the mind quiets, allowing the body to focus entirely on recovery. The energy saved by reduced brain activity is redirected to healing and balance. Muscles relax, energy reserves replenish, and the foundation for memory is laid. Though we may not dream vividly here, this phase sustains life itself. It is the body's workshop, unseen but essential. In this quiet, the body renews what the waking world has worn away, preparing us for another day of thought, movement, and wonder. REM sleep is the theatre of dreams, where the mind becomes its own storyteller. In this stage, the brain is almost as active as when awake, creating vivid worlds built from memory and imagination. Muscles temporarily freeze to keep the body from acting out these dreams, while eyes move rapidly beneath closed lids. It is here that emotion and logic merge, turning experience into meaning. REM strengthens creativity, helps regulate mood, and processes unresolved thoughts. Though the body lies still, the mind dances in color and sound. This stage connects waking life with inner reflection, shaping identity and understanding. The theatre of dreams is not illusion but translation, the brain transforming feeling into story. Chaos into calm. When morning comes, fragments remain, but their purpose endures deep within us. The 90-minute sleep cycle is the natural rhythm that guides rest through its repeating stages. From light sleep to deep NREM and back to REM, the body moves through this pattern several times each night. Each cycle is a complete composition of physical and mental restoration, balancing repair with dreaming. Early cycles focus on deep sleep, while later ones emphasize creativity and emotional processing. This repetition allows the body to synchronize healing, memory, and consciousness into harmony. Interrupting this rhythm often leads to fatigue or confusion, while respecting it brings clarity and calm. Like tides guided by the moon, sleep flows in measured waves. The 90-minute rhythm is not an invention but an inheritance, a biological reminder that all life thrives on pattern, pause, and repetition born of the universe itself. As we fall asleep, the body sometimes twitches suddenly, a reflex known as a hypnic jerk. It feels like falling or losing balance just as consciousness begins to fade. Scientists believe it happens when the brain misinterprets muscle relaxation as a sign of danger, sending a quick burst of movement to regain control. This reflex may be an ancient survival response, a leftover signal from a time when sleeping safely meant staying alert to predators. Though harmless, it often startles the sleeper back to awareness before true rest begins. The twitch marks the delicate border between wakefulness and dreaming, a brief reminder that the mind and body still communicate even in surrender. Within seconds, the reflex passes, and calm returns, allowing the descent into deeper sleep to resume without resistance or fear. Sleep spindles are short bursts of rapid brain activity that appear during light sleep, helping to consolidate memory and learning. They occur when the brain is transferring new information from short-term storage into long-term networks, strengthening what was learned throughout the day. These rhythmic bursts protect sleep from disruption, filtering out external noise and allowing the mind to focus inward. The more spindles the brain produces, the better it retains knowledge and emotional balance. During this quiet rehearsal, the brain repeats patterns, weaving experience into understanding. Even while the body rests, the mind continues to build and refine its map of the world. Sleep spindles are proof that rest is not idle time, but active growth. The moment when learning becomes lasting, and the mind silently transforms experience into wisdom. Every night, the brain performs a kind of housekeeping, cleaning itself of toxins and resetting its networks. During deep sleep, cerebrospinal fluid flows through brain tissue, washing away waste products like beta amyloid that accumulate during waking hours. This process, known as the glymphatic system, acts as the brain's maintenance crew, preventing damage and keeping neural pathways clear. At the same time, unnecessary connections weaken while important ones strengthen, fine-tuning mental clarity. The brain also rebalances chemicals, restoring the delicate harmony of neurotransmitters. Without this nightly cleansing, thought becomes cloudy and focus fades. The housekeeping of sleep is invisible but vital, proving that true rest is both physical and mental renewal. It is how the brain protects itself, preparing each dawn with a clean slate for new experience and learning. Delta waves are the brain's slowest and most powerful rhythms, emerging during the deepest stages of sleep. They pulse gently through the mind, creating an atmosphere of calm and repair. Each wave signals that the body is in full restoration mode, muscles rebuilding, tissues healing, energy stores replenishing. These low-frequency oscillations quiet unnecessary activity, allowing the brain to focus on renewal. Delta waves are often described as the sound of peace, the biological music of recovery. They bring order to chaos, turning the mind's storm into stillness. The longer the body stays within this frequency, the more complete the healing. In their steady hum, delta waves carry life's rhythm itself, guiding both heart and mind into balance, reminding us that even in silence, motion continues slow, steady, endlessly kind. Sleep is the architect of memory, building structure from the fragments of experience. During rest, the brain replays and organizes information gathered throughout the day, deciding what to keep and what to release. Facts, skills, and emotions are sorted into their proper places, forming lasting neural connections. This construction happens in waves. With each sleep stage adding a new layer, the hippocampus transfers memory into the cortex, where it becomes part of who we are. Dreams help integrate emotion, transforming experience into meaning. Without sleep, memory falters and understanding weakens. Rest is the mind's blueprint, a workshop of invisible design where every thought finds order. The architecture of memory reminds us that knowledge does not grow in noise but in the calm, repeating rhythm of the sleeping mind. The brainstem acts as the gatekeeper of dreams, regulating which sensations reach awareness during sleep. It controls breathing, heartbeat, and muscle tone, ensuring the body remains still while the mind journeys inward. During REM sleep, it temporarily paralyzes most muscles to prevent movement, keeping dreams confined safely within imagination. The brainstem also filters sensory input, allowing only select sounds or sensations to influence dreams. It decides when to wake, when to dream, and when to drift deeper. This delicate balance keeps consciousness safe, maintaining harmony between the physical and mental worlds. The brainstem's work is silent, yet precise, bridging instinct and awareness. It stands watch while we rest, ensuring that each dream unfolds without danger, guiding us through the night's theatre with gentle authority and perfect timing. Each wave of sleep carries you deeper into the ocean of the mind. Serotonin flows quietly through the brain, shaping calm, balance, and emotional stability. Often called the happiness molecule, it helps regulate mood and creates the sense of contentment that prepares the body for rest. As daylight fades, serotonin works alongside melatonin to guide the transition into sleep, gently signaling that it is safe to let go. It soothes anxiety, softens thought, and stabilizes heart rate and temperature. Low levels of serotonin can disrupt sleep and increase restlessness, while steady levels promote deep, refreshing rest. Beyond chemistry, serotonin represents inner harmony, the bridge between light and darkness. It connects the rhythm of the day to the stillness of night, ensuring that the mind moves into rest with grace. Each breath deepens its influence, carrying the quiet message of peace throughout the body. GABA, or gamma-aminobutyric acid, is the brain's natural brake pedal, slowing the rush of thought and tension into peace. When GABA binds to its receptors, neurons reduce their firing rate, creating calm throughout the nervous system. This chemical pause allows muscles to relax, the heart to steady, and the mind to drift. Many sleep medications and natural herbs work by enhancing GABA's effect, but the body already knows this rhythm on its own. GABA transforms wakeful energy into gentle silence, balancing the contrast between stimulation and surrender. It is not sedation, but harmony, the graceful slowing that precedes rest. Without it, the sleep would remain just out of reach. GABA teaches that stillness is not absence, but control, the art of turning noise into calm and motion into restoration. Cortisol, often called the stress hormone, follows a delicate pattern through the night. It naturally dips in the evening, allowing the body to unwind, then rises before dawn to prepare for waking. This gentle rise and fall forms the foundation of the circadian rhythm, balancing energy and rest. Too much cortisol at night can cause racing thoughts or shallow sleep, while too little in the morning leaves the body sluggish. The balance matters more than the level. Cortisol's rhythm reminds the body that even stress has a purpose, fueling action when needed and yielding when peace is required. When harmony returns, the hormone supports healing and alertness. Through this nightly tide, the body learns to move between effort and ease, finding renewal in the careful dance between rest and awakening. Adenosine builds in the brain throughout the day, creating what scientists call sleep pressure. It is a natural signal that tells the body it is time to rest. The longer we stay awake, the more adenosine accumulates, slowing nerve activity and encouraging drowsiness. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors, tricking the brain into feeling alert when fatigue has already set in. Once sleep begins, adenosine levels drop as the brain clears and restores itself. This molecule is the body's quiet reminder that balance is essential, that wakefulness must always be followed by rest. Without it, the rhythm of energy and recovery would collapse. Adenosine teaches patience, guiding the cycle of renewal with precision. In every yawn and blink, it whispers the truth of nature's rhythm, that every rise requires a fall. Magnesium is the body's mineral of calm, a silent helper in the process of deep rest. It regulates muscle function, heart rhythm, and nerve communication, ensuring that tension releases before sleep. When magnesium levels are balanced, the body produces melatonin efficiently, and the nervous system finds its natural rhythm of relaxation. A deficiency can lead to cramps, anxiety, or restless nights, found in leafy greens, nuts, and ocean water. Magnesium reminds the body how to exhale fully. It works quietly, opening channels for peace without force. The mineral acts as both anchor and conductor, steadying the symphony of sleep. Its presence is subtle but powerful, connecting chemistry with calm. Through magnesium's touch, the body remembers how to rest, how to breathe deeply, and how to find serenity within stillness. The circadian rhythm's molecular clock is the body's internal timekeeper, guiding when we sleep, wake, and heal. Deep inside every cell, a set of genes turns on and off in predictable cycles, lasting about 24 hours. This clock synchronizes with sunlight, temperature, and routine, maintaining balance between energy and rest. When light hits the eyes in the morning, it resets this rhythm, signaling alertness when darkness falls. It releases melatonin to invite sleep. Disrupting this rhythm through irregular schedules or bright screens confuses the body, leading to fatigue and mood imbalance. The circadian clock is not simply habit, it is biology woven into time itself. It ensures that every heartbeat, the breath, and chemical reaction follows a graceful rhythm, the ancient pulse that connects life to the turning of the earth. Caffeine tricks the brain's fatigue sensors by blocking adenosine, the molecule that builds pressure for sleep. As adenosine attaches to receptors, it slows nerve activity, signaling tiredness. Caffeine mimics its shape, fitting into those same receptors without activating them, keeping the brain alert while exhaustion quietly builds beneath. This temporary disguise gives energy but delays true rest. Once caffeine wears off, the adenosine rush returns, causing sudden sleepiness or energy crashes. The body cannot be fooled for long. Caffeine's trick is both gift and thief, lending wakefulness at the cost of deeper recovery. Understanding this illusion reminds us that rest is not optional but essential. The mind's sensors for fatigue exist to protect, not to limit. Ignoring them is like muting the body's whisper to pause, to breathe, and to renew. Dopamine and dreams share a quiet partnership in shaping emotion and imagination during sleep. This neurotransmitter, often linked to pleasure and motivation, remains active through REM, influencing how dreams unfold. It colors the stories we experience at night, adding curiosity, movement, and desire to otherwise random imagery. Dopamine also helps regulate when we wake, preparing the mind to transition from sleep to awareness. Too much can cause vivid, chaotic dreams. Too little can dull emotion and creativity. Its balance defines the tone of our inner theater. Through dopamine, the dreaming mind feels alive, exploring joy, fear, or wonder without consequence. It connects experience to meaning, translating chemistry into feeling. Dreams, guided by dopamine's pulse, are the brain's way of painting with emotion, turning thought into motion inside the quiet of sleep. Sleep and hunger share a hormonal dance that keeps the body in balance. While we rest, hormones like leptin rise to signal fullness, and ghrelin, which triggers appetite, decreases. Poor sleep reverses this rhythm, making us crave more food, especially sugar and fat. This connection links rest directly to metabolism and health. The body relies on nighttime renewal to regulate digestion and energy use. When we sleep well, hormones harmonici, appetite stabilizes, and metabolism stays efficient. It is not willpower but biology that governs hunger. Sleep reminds the body when to nourish and when to conserve. The hormonal dance between rest and hunger is ancient and precise, teaching that food and sleep are partners in survival. Both feed the same system. One restores through energy, the other through stillness and time. Each night, body chemistry resets the soul through perfect coordination. As we sleep, hormones, neurotransmitters, and cells communicate in patterns that restore balance to mind and body. Cortisol lowers, serotonin calms, and growth hormone repairs tissue, while the brain clears waste and resets mood. This invisible transformation is what allows us to wake renewed. It is the body's quiet symphony of restoration, playing without effort or awareness. Every drop of blood, every nerve pulse, moves in harmony toward healing. This nightly reset is not just biological, it is emotional and spiritual renewal. When chemistry aligns, peace returns naturally. The body and mind reconnect, remembering their rhythm. Each morning, we rise as a new version of ourselves, shaped by the gentle precision of sleep's unseen chemistry. The chemistry of calm is the language of the night. Dreams speak in symbols because the sleeping mind communicates through emotion, not logic. During sleep, the brain's rational centers quiet while imagination and memory merge. Images replace words, and feelings become their own language. A falling sensation may express loss of control. Flying may represent freedom or desire. The subconscious translates experience into metaphor, allowing understanding without speech. This symbolic storytelling helps the mind process what words cannot fear. Love, confusion, or hope. Every dream is a coded message, shaped by emotion and history. Symbols connect waking life to inner truth, revealing what we often overlook. The language of dreams is not meant to be literal but intuitive, guiding us toward balance. Through this quiet art of translation, the mind teaches itself to feel, release, and begin again. Emotion sculpts the imagery of dreams, coloring them with intensity and meaning. When we sleep, the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, remains active, influencing what we see and feel. Joy brings warmth and light. Fear shapes darkness and pursuit. Love paints softness into every detail. These emotions create the tone and rhythm of the dream, turning random signals into coherent stories. The brain uses emotion to decide which memories deserve attention, replaying them as scenes to process unfinished feelings. Dreams are emotional rehearsals that help maintain stability when we wake. The stronger the emotion, the clearer the dream becomes. Through this vivid blend of feeling and imagination, the mind transforms inattention into art, teaching us that healing often begins with the courage to feel deeply. The hippocampus is memory's storyteller, shaping dreams from fragments of experience. As we sleep, it retrieves moments from waking life, a sound, a face, a place, and reassembles them into new combinations. These stories help the brain organize knowledge, strengthen learning, and file memories for long-term storage. The hippocampus does not replay events perfectly but edits them creatively, mixing the real and imagined. This process helps emotional memories lose their sharp edges, allowing understanding without pain. In a way, dreaming is the brain's form of reflection, where the hippocampus writes and the rest of the mind listens. It turns chaos into narrative, helping identity remain stable through change. Through memory's storyteller, dreams give continuity to life, connecting who we were yesterday to who we will become tomorrow. Nightmares serve as emotional rehearsal, giving the brain a safe space to face fear. When anxiety, stress, or trauma build, the mind recreates these feelings in dreams, allowing us to process them without real danger. During a nightmare, the amygdala becomes active, simulating threat so that we can adapt. Though unsettling, these dreams strengthen emotional resilience, teaching the body to respond calmly to future challenges. Nightmares also help release trapped emotions, offering relief once we wake. What seems frightening is often healing in disguise. The brain's way of completing unfinished stories. They remind us that fear is part of survival and that courage can exist even in sleep. Nightmares are not punishment but practice, rehearsals that make the waking mind stronger, calmer, and more aware of its own endurance. Sound can enter dreams and shape their stories in subtle ways. Even while we sleep, the brain continues to monitor the environment, translating noises into imagery or emotion. A passing car might become thunder in a dream, or a loved one's voice might appear as comfort. The auditory cortex remains partially active, filtering important sounds like a baby crying or an alarm. This sensitivity evolved to keep us safe, allowing vigilance without full awakening. The merging of real sound and imagination creates seamless continuity between the outer world and inner mind. Music, whispers, or even rain outside the window can transform the texture of dreams, adding rhythm and meaning. Through sound, the brain connects waking and sleeping reality, showing that awareness never fully stops. It only learns to listen differently. REM sleep unlocks creativity by freeing the mind from logic. During this stage, the brain blends unrelated ideas, emotions, and memories into new connections. The prefrontal cortex, which normally filters thought, relaxes, allowing imagination to flow without judgment. Artists, inventors, and scientists have long drawn inspiration from dreams born in REM images or insights that seem to appear from nowhere. These moments occur because the brain experiments without fear, combining opposites into harmony. REM is not chaos but design through intuition. Creativity thrives here because boundaries disappear, letting the mind explore possibilities unrestrained by waking reason. What feels like random dreaming is often the rehearsal of creation itself, a space where the subconscious paints, composes, and invents in silence. When we wake, fragments remain, sparks of insight carried from the night. Dreams often solve problems the waking mind cannot. As consciousness loosens, logic yields to intuition, allowing the brain to explore solutions without constraint. During sleep, information reorganizes itself, revealing patterns that were invisible during the day. Scientists call this offline processing, a kind of mental sorting that clarifies decisions and eases conflict. Many breakthroughs in art and science have come from dreams. Einstein's theory of relativity, the structure of benzene, or melodies remembered at dawn. In dreams, emotion and intellect collaborate instead of competing, creating a balanced space for insight. The mind's wandering is not aimless, it is exploration in peace. While the body rests, thought continues its quiet work, repairing both understanding and imagination. Dreaming is not escape from thinking, but its purest form, where answers emerge like light through mist. Recurring dreams are the mind's echo, repeating stories that have not yet been understood. They often revisit emotional themes such as fear, loss, or desire, urging the dreamer to resolve what remains unsettled. The brain replays these scenes not out of habit, but out of purpose, each repetition refining the message. Recurring dreams can fade once their lesson is integrated, as though the mind finally releases what it needed to remember. Scientists believe this repetition helps stabilize emotion and identity, linking past and present. Every recurring dream is a signal, a call from within to notice, to listen, to heal. They are the psyche's way of whispering what waking thought avoids. When we honor them, the echoes soften, turning from reminders of unrest into symbols of closure and understanding. Smell is one of the most powerful triggers of dream emotion. The olfactory system connects directly to the limbic brain, where memory and feeling intertwine. Even a faint scent can awaken vivid imagery, the smell of rain bringing comfort, smoke evoking fear, or flowers calling forth nostalgia. During sleep, these sensory traces can appear as emotional tones rather than distinct smells, shaping the atmosphere of dreams. Because scent bypasses rational processing, It communicates purely through feeling. This is why aromas from the waking world sometimes slip into dreams, weaving meaning from memory. The connection between smell and emotion is ancient, a remnant of survival that still stirs the heart. Through scent, the brain paints its softest memories, turning invisible air into feeling and reminding us that emotion often lives in what cannot be seen. Time inside dreams does not move like time at night. While the body rests for minutes, the dream may unfold across hours or even years. The brain experiences events outside linear sequence, compressing or stretching moments based on emotional weight. Fear can make time slow, peace can make it vanish. In REM, the prefrontal cortex, which tracks real-time quiets, leaving only perception. The dream world runs on rhythm, not clock. This distortion helps the mind explore memory and possibility without limitation. When we wake, it can feel as if we have lived entire lives within sleep's brief window. The difference between night and dream time reminds us that experience is not measured in minutes, but in meaning. In dreams, time is emotion expanding, folding, and breathing in the language of wonder. The mind writes poetry while the body sleeps. Sleep clears emotional residue by allowing the brain to process feelings without the noise of waking thought. During deep rest, the amygdala and hippocampus communicate, reviewing memories and releasing their intensity. Emotional experiences that once felt heavy become softened, filed safely into long-term storage. The brain replays moments of stress, separating memory from the strong reaction attached to it. This quiet recalibration restores balance, preventing emotions from overwhelming the next day. Without enough sleep, unresolved tension lingers, coloring thought and mood. Through rest, the mind resets its emotional chemistry, transforming confusion into clarity. Each night becomes a gentle form of therapy, where the body's silence helps the heart recover. Sleep does not erase emotion, it refines it, keeping what matters and dissolving what no longer serves peace. REM sleep plays a vital role in trauma recovery. During this stage, the brain reactivates emotional memories in a safe, dreamlike space where adrenaline is low and processing can occur without distress. The mind replays fragments of pain, gradually separating the feeling of fear from the memory itself. This reduces emotional charge and promotes healing. Scientists believe that REM is the brain's way of therapy, replaying and rewriting difficult experiences until they lose their sharpness. Dreams serve as emotional rehearsal, helping us adapt and rebuild. Without enough REM, trauma can remain vivid and unresolved. In sleep, the mind becomes both witness and healer, turning suffering into understanding. Through this nightly restoration, the nervous system learns again how to rest, trust, and move forward toward peace. We forget most dreams because the brain temporarily suppresses memory formation during sleep. The hippocampus, responsible for storing new memories, is less active in REM, allowing imagination to unfold freely without distraction. This ensures that dreams remain emotional experiences rather than cluttered recollections. Forgetting protects the mind from overload, keeping waking thought clear and focused. Yet fragments sometimes survive a face, a sound, a feeling carried into consciousness like a whisper from another world. These traces serve as reminders, not details, connecting emotion to insight. Forgetting dreams is not failure, but function. It allows the mind to process without attachment. The dream fades, but its influence remains, shaping mood, creativity, and intuition. Memory is selective by design, keeping what the heart needs while letting the rest dissolve into quiet. Sleep strengthens empathy by rebalancing the emotional centers of the brain. When we rest, the amygdala, which manages fear and reaction, quiets, while the prefrontal cortex, responsible for understanding others, becomes more synchronized. This alignment restores compassion and patience, helping us respond with kindness rather than instinct. Studies show that sleep deprivation makes people less able to read emotions or connect meaningfully, while deep rest renews that ability. Dreaming also helps us rehearse empathy, imagining other perspectives in safe, symbolic form. The emotional reset that follows allows warmth to return naturally. Through sleep, the mind regains its gentleness, turning fatigue into compassion. It is not just the body that recovers during the night, but the heart itself, learning again how to listen and to love with clarity and calm. Dreams preserve identity by weaving memory to experience and imagination into one continuous sense of self. As we sleep, the brain revisits moments from the day, blending them with older memories and emotional impressions. This integration maintains coherence, the feeling of being the same person despite constant change. Without dreaming, identity would fragment, losing connection between past and present. Dreams act like storytellers, reminding us who we are while allowing growth. They balance stability with transformation, keeping the self flexible but whole. Through this nightly narrative, the mind reaffirms meaning, exploring its place within time. Even when dreams seem strange or distant, they serve as mirrors, reflecting both what has been and what is becoming. The preservation of identity in dreams keeps consciousness anchored gently within the flow of existence. Each night, the mind edits the day's experiences like an unseen storyteller refining its narrative. During sleep, memories are reviewed, emotions are softened, and irrelevant details fade away. The brain decides what to keep, what to strengthen, and what to release, creating coherence out of chaos. This editing process prevents overload and helps us wake clear-headed and balanced. Dreams often reflect this sorting, blending fragments of reality into symbolic stories that carry emotional truth. The mind trims the noise so that meaning can remain, turning confusion into insight. What feels forgotten is not lost but transformed, stored in subtle ways that guide future choices. Sleep is not escape, but refinement, the nightly act of mental editing that turns experience into wisdom and prepares the spirit for another dawn of awareness. The emotional brain rests differently from the logical one. While conscious thought fades during sleep, the limbic system responsible for feeling continues its quiet work. The amygdala and hippocampus process emotion, releasing what is heavy and strengthening what is healing. This rest is not silence but balance, a gentle restoration of perspective. When the emotional brain rests, we wake calmer, less reactive, and more open to connection. It is as if sleep drains the static from feeling, leaving only clarity behind. Even without dreams, this system restores peace, recalibrating mood and empathy. The emotional brain does not shut down, it breathes slower, to listen deeper, and renews its rhythm. Through its rest, the heart regains harmony, and the self remembers kindness. In the stillness of sleep, emotion learns how to be gentle again. Sadness softens in sleep because the brain naturally heals emotion during rest. When we drift into deep and REM stages, stress hormones like cortisol decrease, while soothing chemicals like serotonin and oxytocin rise. This shift allows heavy feelings to dissolve without erasing them. The mind replays sadness safely, reshaping it into understanding. Even tears that cannot fall in daylight are released invisibly through the chemistry of calm. Sleep turns emotional storms into soft rain, leaving only the clarity of renewal behind. When we wake, the pain often feels lighter, more manageable, as if the night itself had listened. The process is slow but sure, a quiet conversation between heart and brain. Sadness does not vanish, it transforms into peace. Through rest, we learn that healing is not forgetting but remembering without fear. The amygdala, the brain's emotional guardian, undergoes a gentle reset each night. During the day, it reacts to fear, joy, and stress, shaping how we respond to the world. Sleep allows it to recalibrate, reducing overactivity and restoring balance to emotion. When the amygdala rests, the mind stops interpreting every signal as danger, making space for calm reflection. This reset is the reason why challenges seem smaller after sleep and why restlessness fades by morning. It is the body's natural therapy, repairing emotional circuitry without conscious effort. The amygdala's rhythm teaches resilience through stillness, reminding us that recovery is part of strength. Each night, as the mind dreams and the body heals, this small yet powerful center renews its calm, preparing us to wake steady, compassionate, and ready to feel deeply again. The healing rhythm of nightly renewal is the body's oldest wisdom. With each sleep cycle, cells repair, memories settle, and emotions soften into harmony. Breathing deepens, the heart slows, and hormones synchronize to restore energy. The pattern repeats endlessly, tension, releasing, balance, returning. This rhythm is not mechanical but sacred, the silent pulse that keeps life in balance. Sleep is the time when nature reclaims the body, reminding every system of its design. The process requires no effort, only trust in the night's embrace. In surrendering to it, the body rediscovers its strength, and the mind rediscovers its peace. Renewal happens not through action but through letting go. The rhythm heals by reminding us that every ending carries new beginning. With each sunrise, we are rebuilt, carrying the quiet wisdom of the night within. The heart rests so the spirit can remember. Even in the deepest rest, the ears never fully sleep. While other senses fade, hearing remains partially active, guarding the boundary between safety and dream. The brain filters sound carefully, allowing only what matters: a baby's cry, a name spoken, the creak of danger. This selective awareness evolved to protect us, keeping part of consciousness alert while the body renews. Yet the forest's whisper, the hum of rain, or a loved one's breath can merge into dreams, becoming part of the mind's soft music. The ears listen not to wake but to reassure. They remind the sleeping brain that the world continues, steady and kind. This half-listening allows the body to rest without fear, balancing vigilance and surrender in the gentle rhythm of the night's quiet protection. Smell fades as we dream because the brain temporarily silences the olfactory system during deep sleep. This pause helps prevent sensory overload, allowing the mind to focus on internal restoration rather than outside stimulation. Unlike hearing, which guards for safety, smell withdraws, giving space for recovery. Without strong sense to interpret, the brain turns inward, using emotion and memory to color dream imagery. This is why the scent of rain or smoke may appear symbolically rather than physically in dreams. The fading of smell is the brain's way of creating sanctuary, protecting its inner world from intrusion. As dawn nears, Olfactory awareness slowly returns, reconnecting body and earth. The silence of scent is not loss but peace, a brief stillness where the external world yields to the whispering imagination within. Touch becomes comfort in deep sleep. Even when the body seems still, the pressure of blankets, the softness of sheets, or the warmth of another presence sends signals to the nervous system that safety has been found. These sensations calm the vagus nerve, slowing heart rate and deepening rest. Gentle contact reinforces the message that danger is absent and peace can begin. Studies show that weighted blankets and soft textures mimic the feeling of being held, releasing serotonin and oxytocin, the body's natural relaxants. Touch does not awaken, it soothes, anchoring the body to the present while the mind drifts elsewhere. Even in dreams, the faint memory of touch remains, grounding the sleeper in security. Through this quiet communication, the body remembers that rest is trust and stillness is love. The motion of the eyes during dreams is the heartbeat of the mind. These rapid movements mirror the vividness of imagination as the brain visualizes entire worlds behind closed lids. Each flicker reflects emotional activity, shifting images as stories unfold. The eyes move as though watching a film projected from within, responding to color, movement, and feeling. Scientists call this REM, a dance of perception without sight. The eyes mark the rhythm of dreams, their pace rising and falling with emotion. When the dream intensifies, the movement quickens. When it softens, stillness returns. This motion is not random, it mirrors the heartbeat's pattern, aligning the rhythm of thought and body. The eyes, even in sleep, witness the imagination's pulse, translating invisible dreams into the silent language of motion and memory. Darkness heals the brain by signaling the body to release melatonin and shift into renewal. When light fades, the mind detaches from stimulation, allowing neural repair to begin. In true darkness, the brain rebalances its chemistry, lowering cortisol and resetting circadian rhythm. Artificial light interrupts this process, keeping the mind alert when it should rest. Yet natural darkness is not emptiness, it is restoration, a return to the state before thought. In darkness, neurons repère connexion, and memory integrates quietly. It is the moment when energy no longer disperses outward but folds inward to heal. The absence of light allows the mind to see within, recovering from the brightness of day. Darkness is medicine, not mystery. It restores the brain's rhythm, teaching that healing begins not in noise but in stillness. During deep sleep, the brain cleans itself through a process that removes waste and restores clarity. As consciousness fades, cerebrospinal fluid flows between brain cells, flushing away toxins that build up during the day. This natural cleansing helps prevent memory loss and protects against disease. Neural activity slows, allowing energy to shift from thinking to repair. It is a quiet, rhythmic washing, unseen but essential, clearing space for new thoughts and connections. When we awaken, the mind feels lighter, not only because it has rested, but because it has renewed itself. This nightly cleansing shows that sleep is not idleness, but active maintenance. The brain depends on this stillness to remain sharp, proving that silence itself is medicine. In deep rest, the mind becomes its own healer, purifying thought through the flow of calm. The glymphatic system is the brain's secret river, flowing only at night. It carries cerebrospinal fluid through the neural landscape, washing away cellular debris and metabolic waste. Unlike the lymphatic system that cleanses the body, the lymphatic network works while we sleep, opening pathways that remain closed when awake. This flow increases during deep rest, using slow brainwaves to pump fluid rhythmically through tissue. The result is renewal toxins cleared, cells refreshed, and mental clarity restored. Scientists believe this process protects against neurodegeneration and maintains long-term health. Without it, thought becomes clouded and memory weakens. The lymphatic system is the mind's quiet janitor, invisible yet vital. It teaches that healing requires surrender, that the act of resting is not withdrawal, but participation in life's most elegant form of self-care. Sleep functions as the mind's reset switch, allowing every system to return to equilibrium. During the night, neurons reduce, firing rates, synapses shrink, and the brain recalibrates its connections. This scaling back prevents overload, ensuring the mind remains flexible and clear. Chemical levels like serotonin and dopamine rebalance, washing away the overstimulation of the day. The body mirrors this process through slowed heartbeat and steady breathing. When we wake, attention sharpens, creativity returns, and mood stabilizes. Sleep is the reset that thought cannot replace, a biological reboot that no technology can mimic. It reminds us that renewal begins in stillness, not effort. Without this reset, emotion blurs and logic falters. The mind, like any instrument, must pause to retune. Each night, through the rhythm of sleep, we are quietly restored to harmony. Sleep and longevity are deeply connected through biology and rhythm. Every night of quality rest allows cells to repair DNA, clear damage, and slow the aging process. Growth hormone rises, inflammation decreases, and immune function strengthens. Studies show that consistent sleep lengthens lifespan, not through magic, but through balance. Rest stabilizes metabolism and heart rhythm, preserving the body's delicate systems. Without enough sleep, these processes break down, accelerating wear and disease. Longevity, it seems, to depends less on time lived and more on how time is spent resting. Sleep is the foundation of endurance, the silent guardian of vitality. Through it, the body renews its capacity for life. Day after day, the path to longevity begins not in effort, but in surrender to the ancient rhythm of sleep's restorative power. Sleep deprivation reveals the wisdom hidden in fatigue. When rest is denied, the body's delicate systems falter, and the mind becomes scattered, unable to focus or feel deeply. This fragility is not weakness, but a reminder that energy must be replenished. Deprivation shows how interdependent body and mind truly are. Hormones misfire, mood swings rise, and perception distorts. The lesson is clear. Rest is not luxury, but necessity. The discomfort teaches respect for balance, guiding us back to care and humility. Even exhaustion carries meaning, showing the edges of endurance. In acknowledging our limits, we rediscover our need for stillness. The wisdom of sleep deprivation lies in what it exposes: that the human spirit is strongest when it remembers to pause, to breathe, and to return gently to rest. Micro-sleeps are the body's emergency response to exhaustion. Brief moments when the brain shuts down for repair, even while we remain outwardly awake. These episodes last only seconds, but they allow neural circuits to recover from overload. The body uses them as a safety valve when rest is denied, preserving function and preventing collapse. During microsleep, awareness flickers. Eyes may remain open, and yet the brain momentarily detaches, slipping into recovery mode. It is a reminder that sleep is not optional but biological law. When we ignore fatigue, the body finds a way to restore balance on its own. Microsleeps are whispers from the nervous system, proof that stillness will always reclaim what it is owed. They teach that surrendering to rest is wiser than fighting it, for even the smallest pause renews life. Animals dream too, revealing that imagination and emotion are not uniquely human. Studies show that mammals and birds enter REM phases where their brains display patterns almost identical to ours. Dogs twitch as they chase phantom prey. Cats stir as if hunting, and dolphins rest half their brains, while the other half dreams. These movements are signs of inner experience, rehearsals of life through memory and instinct. Dreaming helps animals process emotion, strengthen learning, and refine behavior. It links species through shared consciousness, a rhythm older than speech. To dream is to remember and to prepare, an act of intelligence born from nature's design. In their sleep, animals mirror the same quiet theatre we enter each night, reminding us that thought and feeling flow through all life, visible only in rest. The sleeping brain is imagination unbound, freed from the rules of waking reality. Without external input, neurons fire spontaneously, painting landscapes from memory, emotion, and desire. Logic dissolves, allowing creativity to reign. The visual cortex lights up as if truly seeing, while the limbic system colors the dream with feeling. This is the brain's rehearsal of possibility, a nightly act of invention without consequence. What emerges is not random but symbolic, expressing what the conscious mind cannot articulate. The sleeping brain becomes both artist and audience, translating thought into image. Imagination thrives because inhibition fades, letting every fragment of memory blend into new form. Within sleep's canvas, the mind explores itself, proving that creativity is not taught but remembered. Each night returning to the source of all human wonder, lucid dreams reveal consciousness within rest. Moments when the dreamer becomes aware they are dreaming. In this rare state, the brain blends the logic of wakefulness with the fluid imagination of REM, creating a world that feels both real and infinite. The prefrontal cortex, normally dormant during dreams, briefly reawakens, allowing control and awareness. People who experience lucid dreams can sometimes shape the scenery or fly through imagined skies. Scientists believe this reflects the mind's ability to self-observe, a window into higher awareness. Lucid dreams show that consciousness does not turn off during sleep, it transforms. They invite the dreamer to explore identity, emotion, and fear from within the landscape of the subconscious. In these moments, sleep becomes discovery, and the boundary between thought and reality dissolves into luminous curiosity. Sleep teaches self-awareness by showing the mind its own reflection. In dreams, emotion, memory, and imagination intertwine, revealing what we truly feel beneath the surface. Sleep strips away distraction, allowing the subconscious to speak through images instead of words. These nightly lessons cultivate insight, helping us recognize hidden fears or desires. When we wake, fragments remain feelings that guide growth and clarity. The rhythm of sleep mirrors meditation, where thought turns inward and awareness expands without effort. In surrendering to rest, we reconnect with the core of identity. The process is both personal and universal, reminding us that knowing oneself requires stillness. Sleep does not erase consciousness, it refines it, teaching through silence what waking life often forgets, that awareness deepens when the mind finally lets go. Even in stillness, thought continues to wander. Shared dreaming suggests that human minds can connect through the language of emotion, though science cannot yet fully explain it. Countless people report dreaming of the same places or events as loved ones. Theories propose that shared experiences arise from synchronized sleep patterns, emotional bonds, or mirrored memories. The dreaming brain is deeply social. Shaped by empathy and memory, it can simulate the presence of others with remarkable detail. When two minds dream in harmony, it reflects our shared emotional architecture, the invisible web that links human consciousness, whether coincidence or connection. These moments remind us that dreaming is not isolation, but communion. The boundary between self and other softens in sleep, allowing hearts to speak in silence. In shared dreams, humanity glimpses its collective imagination, a quiet conversation across the veil of night. Dream symbols carry meanings that differ across cultures, but share a universal emotional language. A river may signify change, a bird freedom, or a storm inner turmoil. Depending on the dreamer's world, cultures interpret these images through their myths, religions, and histories, transforming private experiences into communal wisdom. In ancient Egypt, dreams were messages from gods. In indigenous traditions, they were guidance for life. Psychology later reframed symbols as reflections of the subconscious. Each culture gives its dreams a voice, blending mystery with meaning. What unites them is the belief that dreams reveal truth, not literal but emotional. The symbols themselves evolve, but their purpose endures to connect the inner and outer worlds. Through them, humanity translates feeling into form, using dreams as both mirror and compass for understanding existence. Ancient civilizations studied dreams with reverence, treating them as bridges between mortal and divine. The Egyptians recorded dreams on papyrus, interpreting them as omens from gods. The Greeks built temples of healing where patients slept to receive guidance through dreams. In Mesopotamia, priests kept detailed dream archives, seeking patterns that revealed destiny. Even indigenous cultures used dreams for decision-making and spiritual renewal. These early dream scientists understood that the mind continues its work while the body rests. Though their language was mystical, their curiosity was scientific, they observed, recorded, and compared experiences. Long before modern psychology, dreams guided agriculture, warfare, and healing, shaping the rhythm of civilization itself. By studying sleep, our ancestors studied themselves, proving that the pursuit of meaning through dreams is as ancient as thought itself. Prophetic dreams often feel like glimpses into the future, but science suggests they are the brain's interpretation of possibility. During sleep, the mind reorganizes memory, pattern, and emotion, sometimes anticipating what might occur. When a later event matches a dream, the connection feels magical. Though it may reflect deep intuition, the subconscious recognizing patterns before awareness does. Prophetic dreams reveal how the brain predicts outcomes, not through mysticism but through understanding cause and rhythm. Still, many who experience them describe profound awe, as if time itself had folded. Whether coincidence or cognition, they show that the dreaming brain explores potential realities. The experience reminds us that sleep is not passive but creative, an inner laboratory where imagination simulates the future and teaches us how to listen to possibility. Déjà rêvé, meaning already dreamed, is the eerie sensation of living through something you once saw in a dream. It differs from déjà vu, because it connects specifically to remembered dreams. Scientists believe it occurs when the hippocampus briefly misfires, confusing dream memory with waking experience. The brain mistakes internal imagery for real memory, merging fantasy and reality. Yet this phenomenon highlights the deep overlap between dreaming and perception. The same circuits that imagine also interpret the present. When déjà vu strikes, it feels as though time has looped, confirming that the boundaries of consciousness are fluid, whether neurological error or hidden awareness. It reveals that the mind does not separate dreaming and living as clearly as we think. Both are expressions of one continuous experience, the unfolding story of awareness exploring itself. False awakenings occur when the mind dreams of waking up, creating a vivid illusion of reality. The dreamer may rise, dress, or speak, unaware that the body still sleeps. This experience happens when parts of the brain responsible for awareness activate before full consciousness returns. It feels real because sensory regions remain active, projecting a detailed simulation of the environment. Sometimes, false awakenings occur in layers, where one awakening leads to another, forming a loop of nested dreams. This phenomenon reveals the mind's ability to recreate the waking world entirely from memory. It also reflects how consciousness transitions in delicate steps rather than abrupt shifts. These experiences can be unsettling yet fascinating, reminding us that the border between dream and waking life is porous. The mind rehearses reality, blurring illusion and awareness within the silence of sleep. Sleep paralysis occurs when consciousness awakens before the body does. During REM sleep, the brain disables muscle movement to prevent physical reactions to dreams. Occasionally, awareness returns early, leaving the dreamer trapped between waking and dreaming. The person can see and think clearly, but cannot move, often sensing a presence or shadow nearby. This paralysis can trigger fear, but it is harmless, a brief overlap of two states. The experience explains ancient tales of night spirits and visitations, showing how physiology creates myth. Understanding it replaces terror with wonder. For in this moment, consciousness witnesses its own boundary. The mind floats between worlds, aware yet motionless, proving that waking and dreaming are not opposites, but partners in perception. Sleep paralysis is the body's reminder that even stillness holds awareness and power. The feeling of falling before sleep is the body's natural reflex as it releases control, known as a hypnic jerk. It occurs when muscles suddenly contract during the transition from wakefulness to rest. As the nervous system slows, signals between brain and body misalign for a moment, creating a sensation of dropping through space. This jolt often startles the sleeper awake, heart racing before calm returns. Scientists believe it evolved as a survival mechanism, ensuring the body remained alert to danger before entering vulnerability. Yet it also symbolizes surrender, the mind letting go of gravity, trust replacing tension. The fall is not descent but release, a reminder that rest begins with yielding. That brief plunge bridges two worlds, the waking and the dreaming, the physical and the unseen, where awareness loosens into peace. Between sleep and awakening lies a thin, luminous border where both realities overlap. In this hypnagogic state, the mind drifts freely, creating imagery and sound while the body remains at rest. Thoughts lose structure, and sensory perception blends with imagination. Many artists and thinkers have lingered here, drawing inspiration from its half-dream clarity. The brain's alpha waves dominate, signaling relaxation and heightened creativity. It is neither dream nor wakefulness, but transition, the meeting point of consciousness and surrender. In this fragile space, awareness expands, allowing insight to surface without effort. The border teaches that awakening is not instant but gradual, a return through layers of perception. Here, the self observes itself, poised between worlds, learning that peace comes not from separation, but from the union of thought and rest. Dreams mirror the soul by reflecting the hidden essence of who we are. They translate emotion, memory, and longing into imagery that speaks directly to the inner self. Within dreams, truth reveals itself not through logic, but through feeling. The soul uses this canvas to explore what waking thought resists forgiveness. To desire, to fear, or wonder, each dream becomes a dialogue between conscious and unconscious, a reflection of growth and healing. The imagery may seem strange, yet its message is intimate, shaped by the dreamer's heart. The dream's mirror does not distort, it clarifies, showing not what we appear to be, but what we are becoming. Through this nightly reflection, the soul learns to recognize itself again. The dream is not escape, but revelation, a soft light illuminating the unseen corners of the mind. The universe does not end. It dreams itself anew each night. All species need sleep, because restoration is a universal law of life. From insects to elephants, every organism enters periods of reduced activity where the body repairs and the mind resets. Sleep regulates energy, strengthens immunity, and stabilizes memory across all forms of life. Even creatures without complex brains show rest cycles, proving that recovery is as essential as motion. Evolution preserved sleep because it sustains balance between survival and renewal. Without it, coordination falters and instinct fades. Though its appearance varies, brief pauses for some, deep cycles for others, the function remains the same: preservation of vitality. Sleep is not weakness, but wisdom, the rhythm that connects every living being. Through it, life remembers how to sustain itself. In stillness, evolution whispers the same truth: rest is nature's oldest design. Whales and birds rest half their brain at a time, a phenomenon known as unihemispheric sleep. This remarkable adaptation allows one hemisphere to sleep while the other stays alert, keeping the animal safe from predators or maintaining movement. Whales continue surfacing for air, and migratory birds fly long distances without full unconsciousness. This split-brain rest preserves survival without sacrificing renewal. Scientists believe it reflects evolution's precision rest adjusted perfectly to environment. The awake hemisphere monitors surroundings, while the sleeping half repairs and restores. It is proof that sleep is flexible, molded by necessity, yet governed by biology. Even in motion, the body finds balance between awareness and recovery. The image of a whale drifting beneath moonlight or a bird gliding through stars reminds us that rest and vigilance can coexist in harmony. Ancient humans followed segmented sleep cycles shaped by darkness, firelight, and rhythm. Before artificial light, people often slept in two phases: the first sleep after dusk, then a waking period for reflection, prayer, or intimacy, followed by a second sleep until dawn. This pattern aligned naturally with circadian cues, mirroring animal rest cycles. Night was not a single block of unconsciousness, but a dialogue between body and environment. The waking interval was calm and creative, a time for dreams to mingle with thought. Historians suggest this rhythm supported emotional stability and community bonding. The loss of segmented sleep in modern life may explain why insomnia feels unnatural. Our ancestors' nights were meant to breathe. Through their cycles, we glimpse a forgotten harmony, proof that the night once invited reflection, not just oblivion. Dreaming evolved as a tool for survival, allowing the brain to simulate danger and emotion in safety. During sleep, early humans rehearsed escape routes, social interactions, and problem-solving through imagery. These nocturnal rehearsals strengthened neural connections that improved decision-making when awake. Emotionally charged dreams also helped manage stress, ensuring calm under real threat. Evolution favored dreamers because imagination expanded awareness beyond the moment, turning rest into preparation. The dreaming mind became an internal landscape where instincts sharpened without consequence. This ability to simulate experience without risk may have shaped creativity and empathy, the foundations of human intelligence. Dreaming thus became more than byproduct. It was training for life. Each night's vision carried the wisdom of survival, blending fear and wonder into nature's most ancient form of learning. Napping is an evolutionary advantage that bridges energy and endurance. In many species, short daytime rest improves alertness, memory, and reaction speed. For early humans, naps allowed recovery during long hunts or in extreme heat, balancing exertion with renewal. The brain benefits from even brief rest, as neurons clear waste and restore electrical balance. In modern life, this instinct remains a midday pause that recharges the mind and stabilizes mood. Cultures that embrace siestas preserve this ancient rhythm of balance. Evolution favored those who listened to fatigue rather than resisted it. Napping teaches that rest is not laziness but precision, a way to sustain clarity and longevity. Just as predators sleep after feeding and birds rest between flights, humans thrive through intervals of calm. The nap is evolution's quiet reminder that efficiency begins in stillness. The memory of sleep lives in our DNA, written long before consciousness itself evolved. Genetic studies reveal that even simple organisms share molecular patterns that govern rest and repair. These ancient codes regulate circadian rhythms, protein renewal, and cellular restoration across species. It is as though every living thing remembers how to pause. Our genes carry the blueprint of recovery, passed down through billions of years of adaptation. Sleep is not merely habit, it is inheritance, encoded into the chemistry of survival. This genetic memory ensures that each generation continues the rhythm of life and stillness. It whispers from within every cell, urging balance between effort and renewal. To sleep is to follow the oldest instinct, a pattern preserved in the language of DNA, reminding us that rest is creation's original wisdom. The biological wisdom of rest is nature's most perfect intelligence. Every system in the body, from immune response to brain repair, relies on cycles of activity followed by stillness. This rhythm protects against exhaustion and disease, balancing output with recovery. Sleep teaches cells when to work and when to heal, synchronizing metabolism, emotion, and cognition. Even the smallest pause carries wisdom, a moment when the body listens to itself. Evolution did not create rest as luxury but as foundation. Without it, growth turns chaotic and memory fades. Through sleep, biology reveals its compassion, proving that survival is not about constant motion but measured renewal. Each breath, each heartbeat follows this silent instruction. The body remembers balance better than the mind, showing that wisdom is written not in thought but in rhythm. The Earth's rotation shapes our sleep through light and darkness, guiding every creature in a 24-hour cycle of renewal. As the planet turns, sunlight triggers wakefulness and darkness releases melatonin, signaling rest. This cosmic rhythm links biology to astronomy, the spinning Earth as the clock of life. Even isolated from light, humans maintain a near 24-hour pattern, proof that the body carries the planet's memory within. The synchronization of time and physiology ensures harmony between inner and outer worlds. Plants fold their leaves at dusk, animals retreat to dens, and humans close their eyes, all following Earth's rotation like a lullaby. This connection reminds us that sleep is not personal but planetary. To rest is to align with the turning world, the heartbeat of gravity and shadow that keeps life in perfect rhythm. Sleeping through storms in nature shows the resilience of life amid chaos. Animals shelter in dens, nests, or burrows, trusting instinct to preserve calm while the world trembles above. The rhythm of rest continues even under thunder and wind because survival depends on energy conservation. The body knows when fear is wasteful, slowing the pulse and conserving warmth. For early humans, caves and fire provided the same refuge, teaching the body that peace can exist within noise. Modern sleep echoes this wisdom. As we learn to rest despite stress or turmoil, the storm becomes background, not threat. Nature itself demonstrates that rest is strength, a pause that restores, not escapes. To sleep through a storm is to believe in dawn, to trust that stillness endures even when the world seems restless. The timeless need for restoration connects all living things through the rhythm of renewal. Every breath, every cycle of day and night serves the same purpose to sustain balance. No creature can exist without pause. Restoration is the invisible half of creation, the phase where life regathers its strength. Whether it takes minutes or millennia, this rhythm continues unbroken, defining existence itself. The timelessness of rest reveals that life is not progress but pulse, alternating between energy and peace. Even stars burn and cool, echoing this universal pattern. To restore is to return, to remember the simplicity of being. The need for rest is eternal because it mirrors the structure of the universe. In stillness, everything becomes whole again. Sleep is not the end of motion, but its perfection. The moment creation exhales. Sleep is older than life itself. The original silence, the slow rise of morning consciousness, is the gentle bridge between worlds. As dawn light filters through the eyelids, the brain stirs, coaxing awareness back into form. The transition is gradual, allowing the senses to awaken in harmony. Heartbeat quickens slightly, breathing deepens, and neurons rekindle their steady rhythm. The body remembers itself, shifting from the stillness of dreams to the structure of waking life. This awakening is nature's design, a soft unfolding rather than an abrupt return. Those first quiet moments set the tone for the day, carrying the calm of night into motion. To rise slowly is to honor the mind's need for grace, allowing thought to bloom without hurry. Each morning is a rehearsal of rebirth, the world revealing itself again through light, warmth, and the miracle of renewed consciousness. The chemistry of waking begins before the eyes open. As the night's melatonin fades, cortisol and dopamine rise, signaling the body to prepare for movement. The circadian clock senses light, releasing hormonal cues that elevate temperature and heart rate. These subtle shifts restore energy and focus, guiding the body from stillness to vitality. The brain reactivates its communication networks, syncing emotion, memory, and motor control. This transition is both delicate and deliberate, ensuring balance after deep rest. The chemistry of waking is a dance between calm and alertness, an equilibrium perfected through evolution. When respected, it preserves clarity and mood throughout the day. Rushing this process disrupts harmony, leaving the body unsettled. To wake well is to let nature's sequence unfold, one molecule at a time, until the mind fully joins the living world again. Dreams fade in daylight because consciousness replaces imagination. When light stimulates the visual cortex, attention shifts outward, drawing energy from the internal world of dreaming. Neurotransmitters like norepinephrine surge, stabilizing perception and suppressing the spontaneous imagery of REM. The result is forgetting a natural clearing of the stage for waking thought. Yet fragmentslinge, soft impressions that color emotion and intuition. The mind cannot hold both realities at once. So dreams dissolve to make space for action. This fading is not loss but transformation. The handover between two dimensions of awareness. Daylight does not erase the dream, it absorbs it, translating its emotional truth into subtle mood. Every sunrise carries the residue of the night's stories, invisible but present, shaping how we think, move, and feel beneath the clarity of morning. The body's quiet return to rhythm begins with breath and movement. Muscles stretch, blood pressure rises, and the heart sinks to the pace of awakening. This is not sudden but wave-like, a gradual rejoining of systems once slowed for repair. The vestibular system reorients balance, the digestive tract stirs, and hormones align with light. Each signal reminds the body of time, anchoring it in the cycle of day and night. This re-entry is essential to stability, ensuring energy flows evenly after rest. The body is patient with its return, never rushing nature's calibration. Morning rhythm is a silent song of renewal, each note reminding the organism that life continues in harmony. Through this balance, that we find composure, the calm between stillness and motion that defines true awakening and the wisdom of beginning gently. The brain's soft transition to alertness is one of its most elegant feats. After deep rest, neurons resume communication slowly, re-establishing patterns of focus and awareness. The thalamus, responsible for sensory relay, begins filtering sound and light, allowing perception to form. Blood flow increases in the prefrontal cortex, bringing logic and decision-making back online, yet traces of dream activity linger, giving thought a reflective softness. This in-between state blends creativity and clarity, making morning the most inspired time for reflection. The transition is fragile. Abrupt alarms or screens can fracture its rhythm. The brain prefers gradual light, quiet, and motion, its natural cues for readiness. Waking is not a restart, but a continuation consciousness, expanding gently from the stillness of night. It is the mind's reminder that awareness, like dawn, was always waiting to return. The beauty of first light lies in its quiet revelation. Before sound fills the air, dawn spills across the horizon, touching the world with gentle illumination. The brain responds instinctively, releasing serotonin and signaling the start of renewal. This soft glow balances the chemistry of calm and energy, easing the transition from sleep to awareness. Ancient humans used this light as their clock, rising in harmony with its rhythm. It is not just visual beauty, but biological design, light as healer, as guide. Each sunrise rewrites the world, erasing fatigue and awakening gratitude. In that fragile stillness, time feels suspended and existence simplified. The first light reminds us that every ending contains beginning, that even after darkness, life returns tenderly. Its beauty is not brightness, but promise the daily miracle of becoming awake again. Gratitude is the first true emotion of waking when the mind recognizes its return to life. As consciousness rises, awareness of breath, warmth, and safety creates quiet appreciation. This feeling activates the brain's reward centers, balancing mood and grounding thought. Gratitude aligns with the body's rhythm, softening anxiety and sharpening focus for the day ahead. It is both psychological and physiological renewal. The act of waking becomes a reminder of continuity, the small miracle repeated every morning. To greet the day with gratitude is to affirm belonging to self, to earth, to existence itself. In that awareness, even routine becomes sacred. The emotion that begins the day shapes its entire course, infusing motion with meaning. Gratitude is not merely happiness, it is the recognition that life, once again, has chosen to breathe through us. The wisdom hidden in every night is the understanding that rest is not escape, but preparation. Each cycle of darkness teaches surrender, showing the mind how to let go without fear. While the world sleeps, countless processes unfold: unseen repair, reflection, renewal. Dreams teach emotional balance. Silence restores clarity. The night instructs in patience, reminding us that growth happens quietly, beneath awareness. To rest is to trust in continuity, in the rhythm that requires no supervision. Every night contains a lesson in humility, that existence thrives through pause, not constant effort. The wisdom of night is ancient, shared by stars, trees, and oceans alike. It whispers that strength lies in rhythm and that stillness sustains motion. When we awaken, we carry this unseen knowledge, the soft intelligence of rest guiding the brightness of day. Waking completes the cycle of rest by transforming stillness into movement. The body, having repaired and replenished, now channels its restored energy toward action. Heart rate rises, blood flow increases, and the mind reconnects with purpose. This transition closes the loop that began with surrender, proving that rest and motion are not opposites but partners. The night's quiet preparation makes morning possible. Without proper rest, waking remains incomplete, the body carrying tension instead of strength. True awakening honors both halves of the rhythm, the peace of night and the clarity of day. In completing this cycle, life renews its flow, harmonizing the inner and outer worlds. Each dawn is therefore not just continuation, but completion. The moment balance returns. To awaken is to fulfill the promise of rest, the unity of renewal and action intertwined. The peace that lingers after sleep is the residue of restoration. Even as thought returns, the body carries traces of the night's calm, slower heartbeat, balanced hormones, softened emotion. This peace is fragile yet profound, a bridge between dream and awareness. It allows the day to begin with grace instead of haste. In those first moments, the nervous system still hums with the rhythm of sleep, protecting against chaos. Holding on to that tranquility extends the benefits of rest into the waking world. It is the essence of mindfulness, a reminder that calm need not end when eyes open. The peace that lingers is the mind's quiet gratitude for renewal. To honor it is to live gently, to move through the day as though still dreaming, awake but unbroken, carrying night's serenity within. The night ends, but its calm remains. As the rhythm of night fades and morning begins to unfold, take one last quiet breath. Feel how the air, soft and full of light, moves differently now, not to send you back into sleep, but to carry that same calm forward. you have journeyed through the silent landscapes of the mind, through chemistry, memory, and dream, and now return, renewed. Sleep has done its quiet work, balancing thought and emotion, reminding your body how to heal without noise. Every heartbeat, every breath, every flicker of dream has been part of that restoration. What happened in darkness was not escape, it was creation, the rebuilding of all that you are. Now, as you awaken, keep a piece of that stillness with you. Let it follow you through the day, like the afterglow of a fading star. Remember that rest is not a pause from life, it is part of living. The peace found in sleep is the same peace that guides clear thought, patient action, and gentle awareness. Dreams, too, are not illusions. They are the quiet conversations your mind holds with itself, shaping emotion into understanding. Every image and story you forget upon waking leaves behind something unseen, a fragment of healing, a softened edge, a calmer heart. When the world begins to move faster, you can return to this rhythm. It is still within you, waiting behind the noise. You are not separate from the cycles of night and day, from the vast design that moves oceans, stars, and thought alike. The same forces that cradle the moon's tide cradle your mind each night, teaching balance through stillness. The body rests so that awareness may deepen, and awareness deepens so that the body may live kindly. So, take this calm into the waking world. Let the light be soft. Let your breath stay slow. Every morning is a continuation of the dream, a chance to live with the same grace that sleep teaches. Carry the silence of the night within your steps, and let it remind you that renewal never ends. If your dreams could speak, what would they thank you for tonight? Rest softly. You are part of the universe's quiet heartbeat.